Hey, can you hear me okay?
I've got you, Az. It's okay. It was my fault. I saw you just as I pressed live because I was looking at my phone. That's what it was. I've got you, mate. So I've got
Can't
you.
hear.
Oh, you can't hear me. Oh, dear.
Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah, now I can
Got me
hear you.
now? Got me
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Can you
There
hear
you go.
me? Okay, because I'm
Yeah,
trying these
yeah,
out. Sorry, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
got you, mate. I've
yeah,
got you. There you go. Bit of
yeah.
confusion there. Bit of
I was
confusion.
like, yeah, yeah,
Bit of confusion on the intro there. Welcome
yeah.
everyone. Welcome to the fan calling show. Az has jumped on super early, quick there. I've sort of gone hit the light, and I saw him there, and I've gone dink dink, and yeah, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
don't worry,
Anyway,
it's fine.
there
Yeah,
you go. There you go. How are you, Az? Are you all right, mate? How are you?
yeah. I mean, tonight's game is big for us, man. Like West Ham Man City is suddenly like the biggest game of the season for Tottenham. I know it sounds
Oh
weird to
yeah,
say,
yeah. We're
but
not supposed to say. You're not meant to be looking over your shoulder, as at this time.
but we
No,
are, mate. It's
as
just
as mate, it's shocking, mate. At the end of the day,
yeah.
it is what it is for the time being. What can we do? Not a lot. Critique, try and be positive, and crack on with it. At the end of the day, innit? I don't know what else we're meant to do, really, mate. Do you?
For me, I mean, I stand by what I say, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm like you. I hope I'm wrong, right? But after the Newcastle game, I thought that's it. Like we're going down. Mainly because of just the behaviour of the players and the body language I saw from the players that game. Obviously, Frank got sacked after that match and brought in Tudor.
Yeah.
He's got nothing out, no response out of him, which doesn't surprise me. And right now we're in the last chance desperation saloon. I mean, I think he's going to get sacked on Monday morning. I don't know, maybe even after Atletico, but I can't see him being in charge of the Forest game. Because there's already murmurs that they're going to sack him after if he loses to Liverpool, which he's going to lose to Liverpool. I can't see us getting anything tomorrow. But then it's like, who do you turn to? I mean, I don't know. I just don't trust them to pick the right person. And I also I worry it's too little, too late because we've only got what after tomorrow? Is it 7 games or 8 games?
I think it's 8 left after tomorrow. I believe. I think
Yeah.
it's 27 points available as of now. Before tomorrow's game, so that'll be 9 games. So yeah, 8 games after tomorrow's game. Is it totally a write-off for you tomorrow, mate? Is it like, do you know what? We're not getting nothing. We've got 13 fit players, and I don't know. Where are you with it?
Look, it's football. Yeah, I'm not saying we can't get anything out of the game, but I worry that by the time we play, we'll be in 18th, and I don't worry about the It's hard to say. Okay, I always compare us back to 2004 when we bloody drew 2-2 with the Invincibles, but when I look at those players back then, they're probably less technically as good as the players we have now. But the difference is back then is the players we had then were more experienced and also just had more fight in them. Like you could tell, even though they weren't the best players, like we had flipping Tarico and players like that, yeah, that they had more fight in them. When I look at this group, there's no fight in them. They might be technically better than those teams back in the late 90s and early 2000s, but I just don't see any fight in them. I'm not saying we can't get anything at Anfield tomorrow, but I'd probably got us about a 5% chance to get a draw.
Very unlikely, I think the words are.
Because we ain't got many fit players, and they're not with Tudor. Like it's obvious they're not with the manager. So I think they're down tools anyway. So obviously there's that room of that rat at
the
Spurs.
rat in the kitchen.
The rat in the kitchen. So I think they're down tools. I think a lot of them just don't want to play for the Spurs. They don't care if we go down. They don't care. Like how do you get them to care again? I don't know. Like that's what I mean. It's kind of like a lost cause. And I think I have a bad feeling West Ham are going to win tonight, and Forest will beat Fulham, and then we'll start Anfield on 18th. I have a really bad feeling West Ham are going to win because I didn't expect them to beat Fulham, but they went and beat Fulham. So
Yeah. Yeah. Barry, how are you, mate? Thanks for dropping in.
That's all right, mate. I'm just got one side eye on this Arsenal game. Just, with some hope to see if they can. I mean, I've heard to be fair, they had a Stonewall penalty.
Yeah. I haven't been watching it, Baz, to be honest with you.
No, they had a Stonewall penalty they didn't get. So if it finishes 0-0, they'll start crying about it, obviously.
Yeah.
Good shot there, actually.
But yeah, I've just got a funny, feeling that Arsenal will drop points tonight, touchwood, and West Ham will just go and do something. You just know it. The way that this season's gone, you just know it's going to happen. And unfortunately, these players are just not. They're just not up for the fight. They're just not up for anything. I don't think changing the manager does anything. I mean, I know there's the, if Harry comes in and everything else, we're just hoping with everything at the moment. Everything is hope. I just can't see it. I just can't. I could just. The only thing I can see is West Ham winning and Forest winning, and we're 18th, and then. People saying, "Oh, if we're in the relegation zone, will that wake the players up?" I don't think anything wakes these players up. It's a great save from Pickford again.
Yeah.
Was that the Eze shot? Maybe.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Havertz thing? Are you talking about the Havertz thing? By the way, I don't think that was a penalty. To be honest with you,
I don't know.
I don't think you touched him. To be honest, I think it went down.
At the end of the day, they'll cry about it, wouldn't they? So look, it wasn't actually that good a save. Pickford making it like it's a worldy save. But look, someone said, I can't remember. Someone said the other night, there's always a surprising result in this. You sit there and it's more of hope, right? I don't believe we'll get anything at Liverpool, but. How Spursy would it be if we did? Yeah,
especially with the amount of injuries we've got and suspensions and players that are available. Barry, it'd be insane, to be quite honest with you. I think anyway, because when you look at the team he can put out, he's only two fit midfielders apart from Simmons being the creative. Are Sarr and Gray.
Yeah, but he'll probably play Gray at right centre back.
Oh, to carry on the three at the back trend.
Yeah,
Raz, is that what you're saying? Can you?
Yeah,
see
I mean, look. For me, you got to play Sousa. You got to play Jed Spence, and then you can move Porro maybe further up. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really matter what we think. I guess we'll just wait and see what we'll wait and see what kind of happens. I'll tell you what though, what's his name? That young kid for Arsenal, Max
Dowman.
Dowman. Yeah.
He's like running the show for Arsenal tonight.
He's a good player.
He's tearing it up. I'm watching it too.
Very good young player. Very good young player.
He's only like 16, I think.
Yeah. So they're just 10 minutes here, quarter of an hour there. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how long he's been on.
Because they bed them in. With us, we chuck like 5 youngsters in and expect them to just make a team out of it. With them, they build a team or whatever, and then they ease them in. Like, City did with Foden. Pep eased him in. He didn't just chuck him straight in with like 5 other youngsters in the first team game and expect them to just set the world alight anyway.
Is he English?
Yeah, he's English.
Yeah.
The next Wayne Rooney, bro.
You never know.
Rooney was a special player, man. He I have to admit,
He looks special too, bro.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about special players. Hey, at the moment, it's not happening for us, is it? In a minute,
we've got some special players, but they're not special in the way we want them to be.
Yeah, so, something like that, Baz.
We got a collection of them, bro.
Yeah.
Say that again, Eugene.
I say we got a collection of them, the special players,
Oh, don't.
Yeah, we were just saying we're not going to go there. Someone will get upset in this world that we live in.
Listen, I'm going to get onto this conversation. I don't know if any of you know today, but the protest for Nottingham Forest next week has been cancelled.
What?
Alex.
Yeah, and it's been cancelled. Apparently, I'll use that word apparently, because a group has been formed by someone called Stuart, whoever that is on X, that wants to welcome the coach and the players to the ground, cheer them as they get off, tell them how wonderful they are. You have to support the club, not try and protest at Enoch out.
Okay.
And build a bonfire, sing Kumbaya, and all.
Hang on. Welcome the players. They realise that the players go under. It's not like the good old days where the coach stops outside and the players
That's what I'm
and
thinking
everything
of,
else, right? When I've been
you're wrong.
when I went to Leeds away,
they're welcoming the Nottingham Forest players, not our players.
when I went to Leeds away, you could they had everything out there. The old the old barriers, the old metal barriers, all interlinked. The coaches came in and the players walked past, and then they walked into the stand and everything else. The coach has got blacked out windows and gets into the ground way before anything else, and goes underneath the stadium, and then the players get in. And quite frankly, right, change for Tottenham, the absolute clout chasers that they are, to come out and say they're not organising a protest because of that just shows what they are, really. They're all they want to do is clout. They were having a go at, I don't know whether you saw, obviously there was that Sarah from the stands that was on the Spurs 5, and she was doing that email thing. And then Lyndon had put out something about having a go at her because she'd used some email, or like, so pathetic. It's like someone's trying to do, that's what she wants to do. Someone else, other people want to do other things. None of it is wrong, but to sit there and to try and make a big thing about it, it just shows what a mess, what a mess it is. They didn't do that at the last protest. No one showed up, and then they tried to claim everyone showed up, and they,
I know. I was there, Barry. I was there.
There was the walkout, but typical Tottenham get the second goal just in the 74th minute, just as the walkout's supposed to happen. It's just pathetic. Like, if you're going to do something, say you're going to do something. Like, that's why I won't go anymore, because you just get called weirdos, you get called idiots, you get called all these names under the sun. That the first time I met Dagul was at the training ground, and it was so cold. Like, it was like Kim had to bring him gloves and socks and everything. Coffee, everything, right? Yeah. And I just think it's, Ben Kaufman said he's not going to, speaking for him, but he said he's not going to do any more protests because they're just not serious about it. At least when, everyone said, like Stell and Dagul and all these people, and Cookies come down and Mark's come up from Somerset, and all these people have come up, they do what they say. But to come out with this wet excuse like, oh, that's it, they're finished. Change for Tottenham now is finished, because you ain't coming back from that after what's happened the last couple of, at the last supposed protest, and now this. Yes, we should support the players. Yes, we should do that, but they need to give us something as well, right? How many times is you seen Porro? He goes like that, throws his arms up in the air, and I'm like, mate, it's all very well you saying it, but can you show us something on the pitch? Because I'm not seeing nothing.
Barry, I'm not saying, by the way, Tudor's answer, but I think he has a bloody point with his quote about don't cry and fight or something. What was it? The players stopped there and crying and fight. But I don't think they're going to respond to that. Unfortunately, our players are just fair weather players.
That's why De Zerbi's not the right answer, because De Zerbi's going to tell them exactly the same. They need someone to come
and say, He'll be worse.
Oh, your moisturizer's great. Look at your face. Oh, where did you get your hair cut? Oh, that looks really nice today. Oh, Richarlison, you're like, Harry Kane was like the greatest goal scorer in this club. You're better than him. I mean,
no, Harry, we don't employ footballers. we employ influencers who pretend to be footballers. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem now,
Eugene,
right?
We need to gaslight the players. We need to gaslight the players. That's the problem.
And for change for Tottenham, right? To tell the truth, after what we, Harry, we did the live watch along thing, right?
Yeah.
Protest.
I know. Me and TJ were there. Me and TJ, the only two people who turned up for the
and to tell the truth,
protest.
and I've been doing it for so long. And Nick, Barry, you know this, right? The Dagul one, even that one also, I did a watch along for that. But the thing is that if they dare not show up because there's no numbers there, right? Where is their intentions are? Why are they there? That's the question now. I had a back and forth on Twitter with Lyndon. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Right?
You told me. Yeah,
I told you, Harry. I had a back and forth with Lyndon on Twitter. I mean, 1 or 2 messages, right? And asked him, I said, you guys were cowards. You didn't turn up. I had people there looking for you, right? But then he said that he did gather outside and couldn't find anyone. So why is there the mixed message? We were there live. No one was there. You understand, sir? At least hold up a yellow flag or someone there to try to guide people.
Eugene,
right?
Eugene, we even walked down because you know the south stand, right? We thought, oh, maybe they'll be further down just to see, right? We walked further down. I didn't see anyone. I mean, so yeah, it was just me and TJ just walking around,
but
trying to find people.
My conundrum is there, right? They know.
Are you talking about the City game? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the City game. My conundrum is that how would you say this? They could organize 2 that was well organized. Remember, one had about 2,000.
Two.
If they know how to organize it, but they're not putting the effort to organize it, maybe the last few ones were mistimed because we were on the way to winning the cup and all that. That threw them off, right? And now they feel, I don't know. You see, sometimes when you do something like, especially the protest, you must believe it. You must have a single goal, right? Our goal has always been leave it out, in it out, right? Harry.
Big up Brian Dagul in the chat, by the way. I see him in the chat.
Yeah.
Dagul, you say you're not going to come back on shows, Dagul. You told me that. What are you doing here?
But the thing is, Eugene, I think that you're right. They're cowards. I'll tell you why. Because when you do these sorts of things, you have to understand, and this is just about social media in general, by the way. You're going to take flack for doing. It's pinned. You're going to get flack for whatever you do in life, right? And if these people were serious about the movement, right? Bear in mind, Billy T and the other guy, they're quite big, like. Especially Billy T, he's massive, right? He could get people to sign up. Obviously, you were successful in the
shit.
There. Yeah. But if they were serious about it, you're gonna have to understand you're gonna have to take flack for doing shit. Like, because unfortunately our fan base is like that. Like, even when I was back in the day in 2015, 16, 17, when I was calling out Levy and the board, whatever, I was getting so much crap online, but I was still doing it. You should have seen some of the tweets I was doing before the Champions League final. But like that's unfortunately, unfortunately, you need to understand that whatever you do, you're going to take flack for it. And the thing is, for them to just stop doing it just because of one person is really like soft. Like I don't understand it. I can't organize a protest. I don't think, but
I wish I could. I wish I could, and I would. But
this goal from Arsenal, fuck my life. Bauman's crossed the ball, right? It's Pickford. I don't know what he's doing. He's come and flapped. It's like flicked off someone's knee. Hang on a minute.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know.
It's that guy scored as well. It's a guy who scored as well. Bloody
tap in. It's a tap in. Ole, right? We had the tap in. Then Ole again. It's fine. No, I tell you, they're going to win it.
Dalman got the assist.
I'm so angry with this new news about CFP. Even got me commenting on this stream. My first YouTube interaction in the month. Yes, they go. Hop on. Right. We need you. Put out the bat signal, guys. We need Dagul back.
What I will say, Brian,
the Dark Knight.
Well, I know you've finished on YouTube for the time being, mate. But if you do feel like you need to come on and get it out of your system, just come on for 5 minutes, mate, and say what you got to say. That's all I can say to you, Brian. I know you're trying to stay away from it, but you're more than welcome to jump on, mate. If you want to vent. if that's the right word. Rain, good evening to you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, Ray.
Oh, mate, I was just about to say. So, so you know how I feel about this, Cookie.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that space where I don't want to be militant, but I do want to protest. And you have to understand that is a very, very niche area, and it's where I think a lot of fans actually exist. I think there's a lot of people who protest, and they don't understand why other people don't protest. And I've seen a lot of it over the years, berating other fans for not protesting. I'm probably one of those fans because I only started protesting with Change for Tottenham. I agree with the City game. I had no idea where I was supposed to go, and I'm in the North Stand, right? So I went to the South Stand, and I couldn't find where I was supposed to where people were meeting. It was so it was a bit. So again, it was a nothing burger. I'm really disappointed that the guys are not taking this opportunity to even just gather the few people who are going to turn up and make our voices heard. Just be present. Because I think if you're not present, then you're irrelevant, and that's so. I agree. Is it Barry? I agree. Yeah, I agree. They're effectively making themselves irrelevant by deciding to decide on the if we protest, we're going to impact the team. Whenever I see that online, and I get plenty of it because I go on with Sav. I obviously go on THFC till we die, and I get plenty of it because I always go and protest. I've actually had it with Dermot. That was one of the first interactions I had with Dermot was me saying I'm going to go and protest, and Dermot saying you shouldn't go and protest until after the transfer window. And we had a right row, and then we had a chat afterwards, and worked out that actually, and we're now really good mates. Do you know what I mean? We actually had a chat. I always say to those people, there's never a good time. There is never ever. We want them to win every single football match. So if you're saying you can't protest because that means you don't want them to win the football match, then we would never ever protest. And so you cannot say to somebody who wants to get their voices heard, you can't do it if you want them to win the football match. It logically, it doesn't logic. It makes absolutely sod all sense. Oh.
No, what happened there? Where's everyone gone?
You've lent on the
You've lent on the view, Cookie.
I've lent on the what?
The view.
You've changed the setup,
views.
Oh, hang on. Is it meant to be like I don't know?
Oh no! Oh,
well, there's
another one. Another one.
Go again.
Next one up.
Choose another one.
Oh,
another one.
Keep going.
Oh no!
Cookie's back.
What's going on here?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We like that one. So I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I was looking forward to, going to the corner pin for, against Forest and standing there. I was one of the people who turned up to Burnley, and there was 10 of us. There was me, Lubo, Connor, and a couple of others standing there. I totally get, people like Brian, people like you guys are on here who go, it's awful when you go and people just walk past you and they look at you like they're rubbernecking on a highway. It's something to gawp at. But it is what it is.
Sorry, I know you're mid-flow. Their pinned post on their X account is This is why we protest, regardless of media noise.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I make you right. I make you right. They are. I don't like being negative about other people, and it's very difficult not to see this in a negative light.
Rain, can I say something? Once you're done, sorry, just 2 points.
I'm done.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Number one,
It's all right, thank you.
This whole thing about us protesting affects the players. If it really affects the players, then they shouldn't be playing football, because at any club you're at, there's going to be people who are going to be unhappy with the board, unhappy with the club, who are going to be shouting
At any level.
Or any
level of football.
Yeah. So if you can't take that, don't bloody play football. So this whole idea that I think is nonsense. But number two, what I will say, because I know you had a discussion with someone else on another show I was on or I was watching. The people. What I won't accept is when people moan about the situation, right, or any situation, but they don't do anything about it. So, like for me, like the people who moan online about the board or just anything to do with Spurs, really. But they don't protest. I will not accept that. If you're someone who just accepts it and doesn't moan, that's fine. But I'm like, if you're going to moan, you might as well turn up to a protest. Otherwise, if you're unhappy with it, might as well turn up to a protest.
Yeah, but the reflection
if you're unhappy about something, you need to change it. You need to change it, right? Yeah. So the only thing we can change, we can't exactly go on the pitch. Well, we can, I guess. We can't exactly go into the boardroom and do stuff. The best thing we can do is actually protest. Right, so this is our only form of action, right? So if you're moaning about the boards, I don't know how many people are watching this, then bloody turn up to protest then.
And if you can't turn up because you're in a different country and everything else, then share it and do what Eugene's doing. You know, there's ways and means. There's ways and means to do it, right? And I think that the trouble is, and someone said it. I can't remember who said it. I think it was yesterday. Was on Stells. Is that the foreign fans, and I'm not labeling people foreign fans, but just to get the point across, is that they're more passionate. International fans. There you go. Thank you, Eugene. The international fans are more passionate about this club than the fans that go week in, week out, or some of the fans that go week in, week out, right? Because obviously we know the fact. I'm not trying to say that all the fans do, but the ones that turn up to the protest, that obviously we know more, let's just say, than most. Some of us know more than most for the people that we know and speak to and have information from.
No,
it's not. But I just feel. Do you know what I feel? It's another thing. And do you know what? It will then get spun us. It'll be people like Brian, people like Stell that will then be like, "Oh, your mates in change for Tottenham and all that work you did," and then they'll start laughing at people because they want to try and make a change, right? And that's not fair as well, right? So I don't know. Anyway, the man is here. The man, the myth, the legend is here. So if Cookie can find out how to put him on full screen so he can have his say,
the Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises. Sorry.
Hang on. Which one have I got to press?
I've only come on here briefly. Look, I'm actually going to be on We Are Tottenham TV tomorrow for the watch along. The boys are going through something at the moment and they need support. So
me think American football is even better.
When it comes to We Are Tottenham TV, people will know I will always be there when they need me, regardless, and they need me right now. So I've only come on because this whole change for Tottenham thing has infuriated me beyond. You people like Nick will understand. Nick was one of the people that when myself, Graham, and Ryan arranged to stand outside a training ground in January a few years ago, there were like 4 of us on the first day. 4.
Yeah.
And we did it for 17 days straight. My group that I was proudly part of, not my group in I ran it, but was a part of it for 2 years outside the club shop, whether there was 10, 150, 200, 13, whatever, all the abuse, all the everything that comes along with it. And then all this nonsense about we have to protest. They put on a thing saying after Palace that the protests against Brighton and Forest have to be the biggest of the lot. And now we're going to welcome these. I've said for 3 weeks, fuck off backing these players. Fuck off. Should we be the 12th man? We've done that for 2.5 years. Done that for 18 years whilst these cunts are in charge. Sorry for my swearing.
You're all right.
And look where it's got us. Look where it's got us. Get behind the lads. It's what we do every single time. These players don't care. The players don't give a shit. They'll get a move out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. That game inside every single ground, every single home game, it should be 90 minutes abuse and toxicity at the ownership and the board. Like when my group did it and we got the balloons on the pitch against Manchester United. Yeah. Like when the group I was part of did it against Brentford and Daniel Levy's wife is rubbing his thigh. But no. We have to back the team and sing Kumbaya and we can't say a bad word. Back the team. Back the team like they did against Palace. And then put in that first half performance. I tell you how stupid our fan base is. Because that's what they are, a large chunk of them. Stupid. The Notts Forest game, they will put more effort into booing Morgan Gibbs-White, who shouldn't be booed, than booing the ownership. I am still so done with YouTube. I heard this with you guys, and I was like, I can't keep my mouth shut. My blood is boiling. And I'm going to be there for We Are Tottenham TV tomorrow, but then I'm gone again. Because I've had a month away from this crap. And you know what? Sitting back and just watching it, the few channels that I do watch now, and seeing everyone going on about everything that we've been saying 18 years, 6 years, but to see it happening now, still nothing gets done. Still nothing gets done. I've had this month away from YouTube where I haven't gone on, I haven't tweeted anything. It's been the most glorious, refreshing month of my life over the last 6 years from YouTube. Because I haven't had to listen, I haven't had to be in the chat or on the screen now and seeing all the people in the fan base go, oh, you're negative, you're toxic, you're this, you're that. You go to the Palace game and you look at all the fans going, we've got to be there, got to be the 12th man, got to get there. And then showing pictures of empty seats saying, well, do you know what? You're showing your true colours now. But then they walk out during the game. These exact supporters, the one that asked for change for Tottenham to cancel the Crystal Palace protest after we got to Europa League final. Oh no, now's the time to back the team, support the team. We go 2-0 down. What do? They all walk out. Because they hid behind their keyboard and flap their gums, but no one knows where they are. But then when we're losing, they go. This fan base is rotten to the core. They don't care. And now we're going to wait till the players come in and go, oh, please play well. Please do well. Yeah, all right. This honestly, I being off YouTube is glorious. The home fan base, it's a lost cause. It is a lost cause. They will be in the bars spending money. They'll be in the club shop spending money. They won't do anything. When we go down or at the end of the season, they'll stay and applaud the lap of appreciation. They'll go, oh, well done, lads. Well done. We didn't get relegated, or, oh, I'm unlucky. This fan base, the home fan base, the majority of them are weak, pathetic, spineless, gutless, toothless, and all mouth. Nick will know better than anyone on here the abuse I have personally taken and what I have gone through trying to do what I've done with the lads that I did it with and ladies. Days, nights, weeks, months, hours of doing it to be where we are now, and they still won't do anything. The only people that can save this football club right now is the away fans and the international fans. They're the only ones. Because the home fan base, well done for Nick for giving up his season ticket, and anyone else that does, it's done. Stop relying on the home fan base to do anything about it, because they won't. They simply will not do anything, apart from people like Haz and Rain and whatever, the hardcore that will. The rest don't give a shit. So stop pandering to whatever change for Spurs say they're going to do. I can't even support them now. After the Manchester City debacle, I was like, I can't do it anymore. We turned up every single home game and said we're going to be there every single week. And we did it every single week, regardless the numbers, regardless the amount of people coming past taking pictures when we were just setting up and going, oh look, there's only 7 of them. Then I had to put a picture out later saying, well, you're wrong, you're trying to stir shit. The fan base will do absolutely nothing. Nothing at home. So what's about to happen is and you see you have idiots like this is again because you have idiots like Tommy in the chat that think they're clever behind their keyboard, doing their bits and pieces, acting tough when the football club is in this place. This is what we get. This is what we get. It's absolutely ridiculous where this fan base is. They want to attack fans personally, as in like that going on about mental health or mental age, whilst they see the club in disarray. This is what they do. The home fan base, as a majority, are pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And as long as that continues, Enoch are in the boardroom laughing, going, I can't believe we're getting away with this shit. They are pissing themselves laughing, going, how are they still not doing anything? It's a joke, it's pathetic, it's a disgrace. And you know what? What's about to happen is about to happen. And everyone that's in this on this screen now, and people that have been in the chat that I know have been to protests, at least we can say, you know what, we tried and we failed. Rather than I did nothing and let this happen. Apparently it's off. Listen, I haven't had it confirmed. I don't know. The rumor mills are going mad right now. Who knows? Who knows? But I just wanted to come on and say that because my blood is boiling right now. And what will be will be. We'll get spanked tomorrow by Liverpool. Absolutely spanked. We'll go out the Champions League to Atletico Madrid. And then we'll lose against Forest. And then people will go, oh my God, now we need to protest. Now we need to do stuff. Oh my God, this shit just got real. Too late, people. Too fucking late. I will leave you be and let you get on with the show. Sorry to come in and just infiltrate it. Like I said, I'll be on the watch long tomorrow, but then that's me gone again. Love you all on the screen dearly. And as always,
take care, Brian. Take care, Brian.
Out.
God bless Brian.
Yeah. All right, like what Brian says, true, right? As international fans, right? How are we gonna be able to push this to the brink of, I don't know, right? More awareness and all that. But to tell the truth, the most important is that at the stadium itself, right? The Crystal Palace game, when half the stadium was empty, I think that will hopefully give them a signal. But if they still don't learn from their mistakes, but then it is what it is, right? All I can say now is that the Liverpool game, another write-off game. The Arsenal game was a write-off game. But even if you take it as a write-off game, right? The performance of the players don't show that it's reflecting what the manager wants them to do. So when you see players do that we all can see that the players are not with him, right? And he gives all these analogies of boats and all that, right? But they're not with him on that same boat.
Eugene was thinking like the Titanic. Sorry.
No. That's the thing, right? When you say boats, it's Titanic. Yeah. When it was Frank, it was Choo Thomas Frank, right? The train, right? I don't know. I think what I'm going to do.
The trouble is, Eugene. The trouble is, nothing will happen after tomorrow, and nothing will happen if they are going to change him. It'll be after Forest because there's a 3-week break before the next game.
Or the international break comes along.
It's too late. It's too late already. They made the wrong appointment because Paratici left a little post-it note in his bin while they were cleaning his office, and they were like, "Oh, this is it." You know, he probably left it in there, and they're just so clueless. And I just, you know, and I know the whole thing is about Poch, and that's what these owners will do. They'll bring Poch back in the summer because they know that it'll create the good time thing. Oh, the club will remember Poch. But actually, if you go back to it and go back to that interview when he said about the furniture and everything else, if they just backed him, we would probably, or we could be, we never know, but we could be in the same position of what Arsenal in with Arteta if we just spent the money on the right players, on the right scouting, on the medical team. You know, you look at Jeff Scott. You know, he wouldn't let players come in. He wouldn't let players play unless they were fully fit and the medical team signed off. And then that started with Ange, and Ange was like, "No, I'm taking." You saw the same thing with Maresca at Chelsea. I'm the manager. I'm deciding if these players are going to play. No, these people are experts. These people are saying these players can't play. You shouldn't be playing them because of X, Y, and Z. And now look at it. We've changed. We change everything at this football club, but nothing changes. That's the bottom of it. We change the stadium. We change the training ground. We change the manager. We change the players. We change the scouting department. We change all of it, but nothing ever changes. We're still,
What 10 Watson, right? Still has given up his season ticket, right? That's all I'm gonna say, right? He's recently given up his season ticket.
Yeah, he's moved to Cyprus.
Yeah. And to tell the truth, right? I was doing this on Hesper TV, right? On Harry's channel. I was saying this: if you guys want Poch back, right? I want Poch back when we are relegated. You know what I'm saying? If we are not relegated and Poch comes back, we're going back through the same cycle again. There's no change, right? He won't be supported properly. Will he be given the type of football support that he needs, right? But if we get relegated, it will be a clear out. It will be draining out the blood. But the only problem is that if he's willing to come back, right, then that shows me that, he wants to stay for a long-term project. Right?
Eugene, can I also say, you know what was also blindsided as well to the fans and everything else was Levy leaving. Maybe Levy was the one that decided to leave because he could see where this was going. Maybe he is the intelligent person like this. I don't know. But isn't it funny how we were blindsided by Levy? Oh, Levy's left, so that means everything's going to be great again. No,
well, according to Ramon Vega, in a tweet very recently, which is quite explosive and quite explosive in my mind. He said that, I'm going to paraphrase because I'm not reading it, but I'm going to be correct, that Levy was booted out after a 10-minute call with Joe Lewis, which also calls into question why the heck is Joe Lewis getting involved in our football club again? Because wait 1 second, Eugene, because his involvement with the insider trading, all of that was predicated, all of his assets not being seized by the US government was predicated on him having no involvement in Tottenham Hotspur or Tavistock anymore. And so if he is the one who's sacking Daniel Levy as chairman and CEO, then actually there's sort of I think Donald Trump might have some words. But wait a minute, Eugene, I haven't finished. But and in that tweet from Ramon Vega, he said that Daniel Levy was under investigation by ENIC for misappropriation of funds, for misappropriation and misuse of funds. Now, I'm no legal expert, but that sounds very, very close to fraud. And I'm surprised that Ramon Vega actually posted that on a public tweet, because that's almost defamatory if it's not correct. Sorry, mate, go for it.
All right. The thing is that, right, what you're talking about, Joe Lewis, is that old Papa is back because Donald Trump pardoned that guy, right? So he's back.
You're right. You're right.
So that 10 minutes call with Daniel Levy could have really happened, right? And then, like what you're saying, right? If Vega put out that tweet and then put allegedly behind it, that means there must be some kind of facts behind it. And if there's facts, yes, maybe that remember we were saying Carrington was brought in to do an internal audit on Levy's dealings, right, throughout the club, right? So all these problems, right, I've been seeing, it's been culminating all these years from, you remember when they started injecting funds back into the club and diluting the shares of the other shareholders like Lubo and all that, right? They did it 2 times, right? My question was, right, when the Lewises pump in money, did Levy pump in money? That was my question, right? If he didn't, right, then of course the Lewises would be wondering why he is not doing it, right? But if he does, right, then they also be questioning where is he getting his money from, right? 6 million.
But Eugene, do you remember the Njayan Kudu swap thing? I remember reading about this, saying it was a deal of chairman. As in, what I'm trying to say is they didn't do the deal.
Right. The biggest example, right?
So maybe there was something going on in that. I don't know.
The biggest example is we bought Endomberger for what, 55-60 million pounds.
Yeah.
Why do we throw money away like that? We sack managers over and over again. Why do we throw money away like that? Right? Is there a Ponzi scheme of stacking managers? Right? Every time you sack a manager, somebody gets something somewhere. Right? So that's the weird part of it. Right? So the dealings of money of rich people in this sense, right? To tell the truth, right? That comes to another point is that to them, they are billionaires. All right. If they lose a couple of million pounds, it doesn't hurt them that much. If they lose 10, 20 million pounds, that gets their attention. But if they lose 100, 200 million pounds, right, their butt will be paining. You can understand what I'm saying? So now we do not know how bad that structure was. Why we're in such a disarray now is a very simple thing, right? We sacked Daniel Levy without transition, right? Without someone being able to manage the whole thing. Because remember, we've been told he's got every finger in every hole. Everybody's butthole, mouth hole, or whatever, ear hole, every hole. So when you pull that out, right, all that shit that's been kept in there all those years, right, it's gonna flow out. Simple as that. So the thing is that, right, when Lewis's did that, there was a problem. And then they had a gooner, which Levy brought in, right, which I'm perplexed to. Why did he hire a gooner? And us fans accepted it. I'm the only one been questioning it. Why did we bring him in, right? Look at it, right? This season, when the gooner's in our club, Arsenal's going to win the league. We've lost 2 times to them at exact scores, 4-1, right? And that brings me into the other side of things, right? You know, I've been talking about, right, you know, the betting markets and all that comes into play, right? And all the decisions that's been made by the PGMOL, right? 1 week, someone pushes someone's in the back and they head in and go, is a goal. Another week, it can't be done, right? Guys, we live in this narrative kind of thing being played. This narrative is that we are going down, right? As I see it, because
we are going down.
I told Has, right? I don't see us winning another game with the type of mentality the players are being shown on the pitch, right? After Tudor come in, instead of getting better, it's gotten worse, right? After, you know, Ange was bad, but he won us a trophy, right? And I will cherish that trophy forever in my life because that is the only trophy, right, that I've enjoyed with Spurs fans with me. 4 a.m. in Malaysia. I did a watch along with all the Spurs fans in a 24-hour Indian Muslim restaurant, right? There were about 50 to 100 of us all crammed into that small space, you know, and we all were, some of us were crying tears of joy. Some of the boys have not seen it before when they were youngsters, right? I mean, the older fans like us, right? We've seen it and we've done it, but this is the first time I've enjoyed it, right? Being proud about it, right? The parade, 250,000 people came up. Harry, I did a live watch along for a parade. Who does that, right? I'm the only idiot that does all these idiotical things, right? Protest along, parade watch alongs, right? And of course, right, the football matches watch alongs, right? At least last season, right, when I was doing the football matches watch along under Ange, right, I was enjoying it a bit because I was screaming of how stupid we look. I was saying, we've got dumb players on the pitch, right? No IQ players playing football. I mean, no FQ, right? No football IQ. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it's carried forward until now. And the worst part is that every player we integrate into our team, right, the first team, right, they lose their brains on football. Don't know how to pass 5 yards, can't kick a 10-yard kick. Our goalkeeper, my God, every kick he takes, right, reaches an opponent. Why the hell are you doing that still? But shit, you know why? He can't play out from the back too. We can't play out from the back. We play out from the back. We concede. We kick it out. We give it away. Guys, are we actually playing football? I've been asking the question since Ange, right? But bless his soul, he won us a trophy, right? He'll still go down as a legend of winning us a trophy. We brought in Mourinho. We brought in Conte. Winners couldn't win it, right? Under Levy, we brought in a Aussie maniac, right? And he did it, and he still doesn't get the respect or the understanding, right, of building a winning team, right? And I'm saying, right, we should actually bring him back because, right, these players are lost with every manager we brought in since Ange too, right? And the thing is that they played like, you know, like we are wearing glasses, right? And we take them off, right? And guys, take off all your contact lenses. Go run out on the pitch and play professional football. You can't even see who you're passing the ball to. Don't you notice that? Right? And that's so weird. Right? Hello, Scotty. Yay. Yeah, I miss Scotty. Yeah.
Scott's in the house. There you go. Is he moving? Oh, he is alive. I didn't see his eyebrows move then. How are you, Scott?
Good. We haven't played this weekend, so it's still a good weekend before tomorrow. Not that Spurs I get really upset anymore by the results. I'm past that part, but at least we can pretend. I was a little hopeful. Actually, I'm probably more down now because I thought the scum looked like they were gonna bottle it, and then of course it's good that it's St. Patrick's Day coming up because the luck of the Irish helps them out there to win that game they totally did not deserve. So, but other than that, I guess now we're talking about Spurs, so my mood will go down again.
What can we say? What can we say?
The excitement.
Anyone else want to say anything on that subject that you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think relegation is inevitable. I hate to say it. I just think it's inevitable. I think the past 3-4 years has been leading up to this, and this year's just been like the culmination of really bad decisions all at once coming to manifestation, really. And I think even I come with Barry on this. Even if Harry came in, there's no guarantee we're going to get a response from the players. Mm-hmm. So at this point, we're in just like desperation, really.
I mean, bring Ange back. Right? Yeah. Scott is going to bite on it. Bring Ange back. Bring Ange back.
I'm not entirely clear what type of response people are expecting from the players. Because I'll be honest, I think the players are playing at the level that they can play at. And I know that there's always this myth in football that you can get an extra 10%. You can't get an extra 10%. You play at the level you're at. That's why you go out and you spend £100 million on a player, because you're going to get that extra 10% from them than you're going to get from a £60 million player. That's why you do that. So I don't really understand why people think they're going to get that, because I think the fundamental problem that we've currently got, which I think Ange had as well, with two fundamental problems. One, we can't keep players fit, and you know it's not talked about enough. You cannot operate on a squad of 12 or 13 players, first, senior players in the Premier League. You just can't. And why the Premier League hasn't stepped in, and why we haven't engaged with the Premier League and gone, look, there's something going on here. We cannot compete with what we've currently got. Arsenal had a game called off because they had 2 people with COVID, for crying out loud, or 2 people with COVID. I should put it like this. But the other thing is that we just don't have a rational first team anyway. We don't have any left wingers. We've got one left back who can't, who even before, who's never stayed fit. He's always been on and off the pitch. We've got about 15 ball carrying 8s. We brought in 1 6 on loan, who we never play in 6 anymore, and we don't have any passing central midfielders, and we don't go and buy them. We've got one decent profile right winger who is now injured, and so we're playing youth players, when they're available in Odebear and Tell. We just don't have a rational squad. Can't keep players fit, and don't have a rational Premier League ready squad. Even if we did have, a decent amount of injuries, you're always going to expect 3 or 4. It's so bringing another guy. Yes, and Tudor's been an absolute disaster. He's come in and he's done exactly what everyone was expecting him to do. Hard man, play 3-4-3, and everybody shut the bed. But I don't see these players. I don't see us getting anything more than from performance wise and results wise than we're currently getting. I'll be pretty honest.
Interesting. Has anyone heard anything about this?
I think rain. Yeah. Everything's been done too little, too late. Like, if they're going to bring in Tudor, I'm not saying he's the answer, by the way. They should have done it back in December, because at least he could have built some sort of rapport with the players. At this point, you bring him in, he's come in like a bull in a china shop, cussing out the whole team, expect to get a response from them. They're not going to respond to him, right? And then coupled with, obviously, we have like 13 fit players, right? So at least he came in December or early January, he could have brought in 2 or 3 players to fit the system. I'm not saying it would have worked, by the way. I'm just talking theoretically. We left that too late. We didn't do anything in January. We left that too late. Even if we bring someone out, it's too late. Like, the club is like a month behind where it should be in terms of like making decisions. So even if we got rid of him now, I don't think there's any hope.
We don't need 2 or 3 players to fit the system. What we need is somebody with half a brain to go, we don't have any left wingers, let's get a left winger. You don't need to buy for any type of system. You just need to understand that, look, all football is basically 4-4-2, right? And if it's 4-2-3-1, it's basically 4-4-2, but players just move just slightly out of position. So you need somebody who can play on the left. You need somebody who can play on the right. You need a left-sided defender. You need a right-sided defender. You need a couple of centre backs. And when you've only got one left back, you're gonna get shafted. So it's not that they should have gone and got somebody, Tudor in December. In my mind, what they should have done is in January actually gone and got more bloody players. That's what they should have done.
Rain. I agree with you completely. I'm not saying specifically Tudor. I'm just talking only because Paratici suggested Tudor. I'm not saying we should have got Tudor, by the way. I'm just talking in, like, if we went and got a manager in December or early January, like, I would have sacked Frank after West Ham. That's when I was personally done with him. And then at least he could have picked out, I don't know, 2 or 3 players on top of the Gallagher and the Sousa we got, whatever. Maybe things would have been a bit better or different. I'm just talking, they're saying that the club is like 2 or 3 decisions behind because our leaders, I say leaders in quotation marks, are not decisive enough, clearly. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're doing everything like Tudor is Paratici's idea. It's not even their idea. So they don't know anything about football. They're indecisive. Yeah, this is why we are where we are. Like, and I just think even if they were to sack Tudor, I don't even trust them to bring the next person in to be correct. And I think at this point, the players are so just down in terms of maybe confidence as well. Also, they just don't care. Like, I don't see how you get someone who's going to make them care again. Like, what incentive are you going to give them? I don't know. I just think it's inevitable that it's almost like they're self-sabotaging in some respects, like some of them. Yeah, they don't care about us. They don't care about the fans. I guess we can't indirectly pay their wages, but they don't care about us. They're not Spurs people.
But the problem is I say good the better players, but none of them are better because they're all crap. But the better players know that they will, a Romero, a Van de Ven will know that someone will come in from Real Madrid, and Liverpool, or whoever. Do you know what I mean? But the other players that aren't playing will think, well, if we get relegated, I'm going to be playing every week because all these other bozos are going to leave. Do you know what I mean? So, and you know how you look at Vuskovic. Everyone, we don't know how good he is. Obviously,
He's
he's
going
doing well in
Barca
the
anyway.
Bundesliga, but
Barcelona
he
would.
said he doesn't want to come back. So if that's just, do you know what I mean? Like these players, even if you're good, you don't want to be here, and none of them are good. So you just think good. The players will leave, the experienced players will leave, and then we're going to be stuck with a Kinski, Archie Gray playing every week, Bergvall playing every week, Attell playing every week. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just
thing is, Barrow,
it's
if this was 10, maybe 15 years ago, I think the players would care more. Not because, I mean, it's no guarantee, but because back then, going down, and like they had more like kind of other teams may look at them and think, if they're playing like this with this attitude, they won't take them. But in the time we're in and we live in, I think that agents already have most of them lined up. Obviously, we're hearing some murmurs already, but even like the players that you think, like Bergvall, I even think there's probably someone in, like his agent's probably putting out feelers and saying, oh, look, we probably might go down, you can get him for half the money, whatever. I'm not saying it's to the media yet. Obviously, Romero is well known, but I think a lot more players are going to leave than people think if we go down. And some people argue it's good to have a big reset, even say, theoretically speaking, Poch comes in. But I think even Poch can't fix this mess. I generally think, I look at Leicester, and I think with there's a real danger we can fall into League One in like 2-3 years. I'm not even joking. Like, we have such disorganization from the top of the club to the bottom of the club. There's no like, what's the objective of Tottenham? So apart from making money, there's no other objective, right? The footballing side, there's no objective. It's all distractions, moving goalposts, bringing people in to satiate the fans with minimum. So they give you the minimum to keep you interested, but never the maximum, right? That's how the club works. Give you the minimum. Like Poch coming in is the minimum. It will buy them 2 years.
I'm very aware. I'm very aware that Scott hasn't had a word, but I'm just gonna give you my viewpoint, right? I'm just gonna give you my viewpoint.
Yeah.
I think we talk about the coach far too much. I think we talk about the coach as though the coach fixes everything, as though the coach is some sort of god, some sort of king of the club. And do you know what? They're not. They're not. They may very well have been back in Alex, as an Alex Ferguson. They may very well have been in the 90s. They're not now. They're almost throw away. You look at the number of coaches who look like they're incredible at a particular Potter, right? Potter is a great example. Looked like a world beater at Brighton. And then he's had 2 moves and he's looked rubbish at both. Why is that? It's because he didn't have the same players, right? It's because it was never Potter. It was always the fact he had Caicedo and Mitoma on the left-hand side. Do you know what I mean? I think we talk about coaches and managers. Tudor's been brought in and everybody's like, well, why? He hasn't got anything out of the players. Well, he's not going to get anything out of the players. He's not going to suddenly sort of magic up something that Frank didn't already have. It's just this is my personal perspective on this kind of narrative that we need a new coach. No, we need better players. we need better players. And you know what? And that's what good coaches do. Pep Guardiola comes in. What does he do? Gets rid of Joe Hart, gets rid of half of the team, and spends, brings in Walker, brings in so and so. That's what good coaches do. What they do is they get the best players, and all of a sudden they look amazing. And no, it's the players. That's what. Sorry, Scott.
No, that's okay. I had to let my dog in anyway, so I had my own fault for leaving for a bit. I think you're partially right, Rain. I do think though that getting those better players is done by having better managers. And I think one of the things that somebody like a Pep does when you say he brings in players is he has, partially because of his own abilities, partially because of what he's done in his career, he knows what good players are. And I think one of the problems that we have when we see with Potter and Frank is when they go to these different jobs is if they don't have the support that they had in the background, it's not as easy to get players as you might think, right? If you have a club like Spurs where you're not run properly, you're not going to bring in those good players. So I do think it's important that we have good players for sure, but I also think it's important that we have good managers, because good players with bad managers are going to be a problem too. But you're right. If you just think that we're going to bring in Poch and now we're good, no. You're just going to bring in, and the reality is the first thing Poch will do if he came to our club is demand better players. That's why I might say I don't mind getting a Poch. Let's bring in again why Conte bringing him in was exciting, because Conte was going to demand better players. Now then, he demanded better players and he had to leave. They ran him out of the club.
Long legs. He got long legs.
But
instead
if
of,
you bring in Graham Potter, and this is I think Graham Potter's kind of got a bit of a bad hit because he's an easy guy to hit. I think he's better than he's not as good as people thought when he was at Brighton. He's not as bad as he seems now, but it is, right? When Potter goes into Chelsea, he can't tell Chelsea what they're going to do. He doesn't get to dictate that to them. Frank, even when he came in, he told the club, but he's still Thomas Frank. He doesn't get to say, hey, bring in these players, right? And if they tell him no, he's not big enough. He's not a big enough name. He doesn't have the background that he can fight with them. Conte can, Pep can. So I think even Poch could, but I don't think Poch would come in if we're relegated. I don't think if Poch came in, as much as I love him and everybody here knows that I love Poch, but I don't actually want him to come back. I think him coming back, shows that he's not at the level he was when he brought us up in terms of his mentality, because he's coming in and knowing he's not getting what he needs. And I think that the club will use it, as you said, somebody said earlier, to get 2 years. The club's going to use him as a PR. They're not bringing him in to do what's right. And if he's not coming in with a Paul Mitchell or somebody like that, it's useless. Poch with Lang is a waste of time.
Unfortunately, sorry, before Phil says something, nowadays the player power is much higher, and also there's no managers really anymore. They're named head coaches. So, for example, it'd be the owners or whatever, then or chairman, then director of football, who kind of really has a say in what head coach comes in. It's not like back in the day when the manager would actually be a manager, where he would have way more control of the club about what players coming in. There'll be less player power. Now and this is why Rain's spot on, changing the head coach will not make much of a difference.
Actually, the manager, right? Think of Brian Clough, right? Brian Clough was a classic manager. He dealt with transfers and he dealt with match day. That's what he dealt with. And then he spoke to Peter Taylor about what was going on the training pitch, right? So assistant, but coach, right? His coach. So now you've got those three roles. You've got transfers, match day, training pitch, right? And now this transfers isn't done by the manager. I don't call them managers. I call them head coaches. It's not done by the manager at all. It's done by the DOF. What the head coach does is training pitch and match days. Yeah, and the transfers is dealt with by Tixi Bergestan at Man City. Yeah, it's dealt with by the DOFs. In many clubs, the coaches have almost no involvement in who is being recruited, right? Or at least it's a very, very dotted line. It's nowhere near as involved as we think it is, because at the end of the day, the head coach these days is almost the most expendable person at the football club.
I don't know. I think at the least successful clubs, that's how it is. I think if you look at I have a hard time believing when Conte went to Napoli and they won the league, they gave him the players he wanted, right? I think the successful clubs, it's a mixture of both, and they work together. They're aligned. Now, you're right. It's not Conte going out and scouting every single player, but I think at the best clubs, it's aligned. Rain. That's the thing. You're in alignment, and at the worst clubs, it's some imbalance between either the manager or the DOF. You're right. They're not as much as Alex Ferguson in his day, but I do think the best run clubs are the ones where the manager still does have some say in it, but in alignment, right? And that's what's key. And that's why you can see that Brighton worked well with Potter. It worked well, and they've they still work well for what they are, but it's not quite the same, right? They go a little bit up and down and that's not because they're poorly run or they all of a sudden Potter made it work. It's because they have to hit on everything, and if they get one mistake, but why they don't go drop down to the bottom like us, like they're not in relegation, is because they are aligned and the manager is aligned with them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the league, but for them, they're pretty successful because there's alignment.
And I think they force that alignment by the coach reporting to the DOF. So they
bring in the coach to fit with it, right? They don't just they think about how the coach will fit, the manager will fit when they hire him. They don't say, "Oh, let's hire you and let's hire you," and then come together like we did with Paratici and Lang, which was so stupid.
Yeah,
or we did with Conte and whoever was here with anyways.
Well, Paratici going and getting Conte was a good example of where it should be in alignment. Unfortunately, we didn't then go and get the centre backs that Conte wanted. But another good example, another guy who's another good example is Frank at Brentford. And when he came in the summer, he said some very revealing things in a very polite but quiet way. I'm not getting the feedback and involvement in it with the transfer team that I'm used to. We need to build that up. And that was him saying in a less Conte-ish way, the transfer team here is rubbish. Right? That's what he was saying. He was saying the transfer team here is not delivering the coach the type of players that the coach needs. And then he said it again in January. He said, we're gonna get something, we're gonna get stuff done. So many, I think Ange said it a couple of times. We're gonna get stuff done early. We got a couple of things done early, and then radio silence. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Scott. The most successful, any successful organisation, let alone football clubs, is where people work well together. And at Spurs, I don't know. It doesn't look like they do, does it?
No, unfortunately not. Phil, welcome to you, mate. Hope you're well. How's the old throat?
Well, it's a lot better now. You know how it goes, Cookmaster. I'm listening to this conversation, and my God, it's going so round and around and around and around and around. And I said this in the summer. In any walk of life, in any job, there are always positions in the company that people have to fill. Now, again, we have gone through a whole season where we've been told there is no left winger. We haven't bought a left winger. So who the hell are you playing on the left-hand side? Whoever's fitting there is a round peg in a square hole. So whoever the manager is, it doesn't matter who the manager is, you're going to have a left winger problem anyway, because you didn't buy what was needed, which is what we said in the summer over and over again, Ariston. But people were calling us negative at the time. Oh, you're looking for a fault in the window. We just bought 4 players. No, you bought 4 random players hoping they would fit into the positions. You didn't buy specialist players for that certain position. Now, when you look at Bournemouth, they sold Semenyo in January and they went and bought a winger, Rayan. How are Tottenham still going for a calendar year and you haven't bought a replacement for Son? You sell Johnson, who was a wing option. You didn't even replace him with another winger. What are you expecting a manager to do? Sod's law that Kudus went down with an injury, because something had to happen for them to hear it. We haven't got any wingers, guys. You're forcing Gallagher to play winger when he's not even a winger. He's a box-to-box midfielder, if anything, and he's a terrier. So what are we doing here? What exactly are you asking managers to do? Pull off miracles, bro?
Because we don't have football people at the club.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. At Tottenham here, we had fans in the September window saying it doesn't matter that we didn't buy a left winger because we'll buy one in January. Well, here, January just came, brother. We didn't buy a winger in January either. So you just sacked Thomas Frank, knowing the manager was compromised and somehow it was going to break somewhere along the line. And then, oh, wait a minute. If the players aren't good enough. No, you didn't buy what was needed. Hello? This is why I say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who the manager is. Every manager will be compromised because the squad itself is poor. You didn't even buy the provisional positions.
Phil, it does matter who the manager is, and I'm going to back. I'll tell you. Let me explain why. And I'm in alignment with what Scott and Rain said. to be honest, but maybe I've got a slightly different twist to what they said. The reason why I think the manager is really important, right, is they're the conduit between the players and the board above them. So when you have really good managers like Klopp who can direct it, Rain, you're going to know this because you're a corporate guy, right? When you get managers in that can manage the sea level above them really well, that's when great things happen, right? Because you start getting the directorate backing you, giving you resources, encouragement, and then you have authority to execute what you want to do. At Spurs, that line from the boardroom to the CEO, to the director of football, to the manager, to the players is broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so broken, right, that nothing works. Now, I've always been of the opinion that you need managers with gravitas and you need the disruptors because they're the only ones that can come into such organization, right, and shake the Christmas tree and say, what the fuck is going on? You need to listen to me because I'm a winner. Jose was such a man that could have done that, albeit these are I recognize that these are short-term managers, win now managers, right, and they don't last long. But when you bring in a manager of his gravitas, his experience, who wins everywhere he goes, you'd be a fool not to listen to him to a certain aspect. We don't listen to them. So then you have another bite at the apple, right? You bring in Nuno. Now, I wasn't a fan of Nuno, but what I can respect about Nuno is he has a way of doing things. He has a team. If you give him the right resources, he may achieve something. We don't do that, right? He fails. Then you have your last opportunity with Conte, again, an elite manager who wins, and you don't trust him to direct the club. That was the moment in which Paratici, Conte could have built something. But what happens? Paratici leaves because he's a criminal, right? And they rip everything up that they put in place. And then now you have the shit show that you have now. So
Yeah, Matt,
I do think, let me just conclude, because I don't want to come on and say people are wrong, because I think everyone's opinion is correct, because Tottenham prove everyone right, no matter what, right? So, but what I would say is that I on one hand, part of my left side of me saying, Rain, I agree, we talk far too much about the players, the managers, we need much better players, 100% agree. The right side of me thinks, well, you need that leader to tell them what to do because they can't do it themselves because they're idiots. So
I completely agree with you. My point, and just to round that circle, the reason why those good coaches, and I agree with you. I think Conte was basically our last chance saloon. I think Ange achieved a miracle last year, right? I think, or we achieved a miracle through fortuitous circumstances. Let me put it that way. But I think actually Conte was our last chance saloon.
Yeah,
and he couldn't get. He tried to do. I absolutely 100% agree with you. He tried to do everything that you said, and to that point, he ended up blowing up. He ended up blowing up, and ended up blowing out, and we ended up with. We ended up on the slow slide to where we are now because he wanted better players. He wanted the players to deliver.
Yeah. And one last point. Yeah, sorry. One last point, and then I'm going to shut up because I only wanted to come on to say this point, right? And I've been really enjoying the show, Cookie. It's a great show.
Nice
one. Really good people.
Thank you, guys.
Rain, what do you think of this? Because I'm interested to hear your opinion of this. When Conte had his rant, I think I was the only person, and I mean this, I'm not just saying it just to say, oh, look how great I am. I was the only person, I think Scott can verify this as well. I was saying what the club should have done in that moment, what I would have done if I was the CEO, right, is I would have said, Conte, I know what you're trying to do. I'm going to do the complete opposite of what you expect the club to do. I'm going to come out and say a statement. I'm going to, along the lines of this, it won't be that great because I'm doing it off the cuff, but it'll be something along the lines of Tottenham Hotspur manager Antonio Conte said some accurate and truthful things in his post-match interview. Was it Southampton? I think it was, whatever it was.
Southampton, yeah.
Right. We acknowledge that it was very disappointing to lose in the manner that we did against Southampton. However, we have brought in Antonio Conte to bring success to Tottenham Hotspur and lead us to the next level in our club's development. Therefore, we back our manager. We brought him in to do a job, and we'll give him all the tools and resources necessary to complete the job. What that would have done is that would have said to the fans, we acknowledge that there's truth in what he said, right? It would have said to Conte, we hear you, right? And it would have aligned the fan base and the manager and the club, maybe temporarily, but at least it would have kept him there, and it would have been like, okay, Conte, what do you want us to do, right? Do what you want and lead us to the promised land. It's over to you now, mate. Right, and then obviously would have to buy players and stuff, but they didn't. They do what we always do. Oh, brilliant! He's going to take the can. We'll just move on to the next manager and start again. But when they did that, it obviously didn't really work. What do you make of that? Sorry, Ray.
No, Mess. What haven't you not even forgot, right?
Ask Ray the question, Eugene. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to answer it. I wanted to answer the question, Eugene.
I'll be quick. Eugene, I'll be quick. I said I wasn't online at the time, yes. But I could go and dig up WhatsApp messages to people. I said exactly the same freaking thing.
Spot on.
Unfortunately, mate, it's not just a Tottenham problem. It's actually a football problem because you look, Amorim. Said a similar thing, Maresca said a similar thing, and unfortunately, the coaches these days they're not allowed the gravitas that they need. I personally think that this sporting director coach thing is completely out of whack. I think the old structure of a guy, effectively had full authority over the first team playing squad, and then everybody else fed out from underneath him, including the transfer people. I think that was a much better approach than they currently have. So I completely agree with you, Eugene.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to much of that conversation, but I understand. I get the gist of it.
It was an absolute stonker. You missed an absolute stonker of a conversation, unfortunately.
No. The thing is that about managers and clubs nowadays, right? Football has evolved because of the money. We all know that, right? It's because of the money we've become into this kind of football. Whether we have the kind of hierarchy where the manager is actually in charge of everything, that's gone for quite some time already. We all know that. But the only problem is that, like what Scott was saying, that the alignment isn't there because we've been hiring shitty people and sacking and hiring and sacking and hiring. We haven't actually built up a proper identity for the playing style and the club, right? And the owners pander too much to the fans, right? We hounded Conte out, we hounded Poch out, we hounded Mourinho out, right? And Nuno made us proud. You remember? Nuno made us proud, right? So the weird thing is that, like what I've been saying, right? Spurs has always been dividing the fans, right? It's like a divide and conquer kind of thing. And Spurs has always been able, I think, marketing-wise, they are brilliant because they've garnered a huge support, right? Of people willing to spend their money, hard-earned money, right? Some of them might already have a lot of money, willing to go to the club, right? We have a different kind of fan base. You can see now. They most of them are maybe out there for corporate reasons, have a good time with family and all that. That I understand. But to be there, to be a fan, to actually want to see us win things, right? That's another level, So certain fans don't go to that level, right? They are there just for the vibes, That's a new word that I've learned today, the vibes, right? In the end of the day, what else can we do? Protest, right? We've been trying to do that for a long time, trying to get more people to join us and all that. But I'm in Malaysia. Most of you guys, Scott is in Canada, right? And like what an earlier comment was saying, right? I think the way fans, international fans, right, we are frustrated, right? We want more, but like I'm so far away here. I can say and I can talk and I say and I can talk, right? But the thing is that if there's no action being done on the ground, there's no effect. So we reached this juncture where all the Spurs fans are, watching us go down this relegation rat hole, right? And we're all panicking, right? Some of us has even gone to a coping mechanism to say that let's get us down. Then hopefully the club will wake up. That could be true. Right? If we go down, we wake up. If we don't, right, we go back to the same repeat and rinse cycle. But there are some of us are thinking if we don't, maybe they will wake up and try to do something. But like a lot of us say, it's too late, right? But you have a bit of hope. It's never too late. Deep down inside, we're all Spurs fans. We love the club. That's the sad part. The players don't, right? We've built a culture of football nowadays, right? We don't bring players, right, to come in that actually are Spurs supporters, right? We buy players, that don't support the club, or some players don't even support any club at all. They're just there to professionals, earn a living, right? Even if you're a professional, turn up for your job. But the problem is that football is a team sport, collective. And collectively, if they don't want to do it, we can't do anything. We are looking at what is happening to Spurs now, right? But guys, it's going to be 5 a.m. in Malaysia here, right? Cookie, thanks for having me on. Conversation.
Thanks,
I was in and out, but it's a great conversation. Max, long time. You're doing well.
Eugene, promote your channel, please, just before you go, and anything you've got coming up, please.
All right. Spurs Vision TV, the only Malaysian-owned YouTube channel from me, Malaysian-owned, right? Watch along coming up Sunday. I don't know. Nowadays, doing watch alongs are such tedious things, right? So I still do it. But if it's fitting my time, I'll do it. I don't do the 4 a.m. ones anymore. I've stopped doing that. I'd rather go to sleep or actually watch the game in my bed. Right, guys, take care. Have a good time. Right. All I can say, score prediction for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think we'll get 6-3. A 6-3. A 6-3, right? We're going to win. The other way. Right? Yeah, 6-3. And then we clapped off the pitch, like during Ange.
Well, you're going to score 3 goals.
Yeah, we're going to score 3 goals, right? Now, Liverpool is going to give us 3 goals. Most probably they'll score it. Okay. All right, guys, take care. Have a good time. Catch you guys later. Come on, you Spurs. And I've said it, right? Enoch in. Must all of us be Enoch in now.
Never.
Take care. Hey, bring Ange back. Yeah, I want to bring Ange back. Right, that's one thing.
See you soon, Eugene. Take care, mate. Thank you.
Can I ask you something, Matt? Yeah, because I like your theory, Matt, yeah, about listening to managers. But here's one manager that I would
keep talking, people. 1 minute.
So yeah, go on, Cookmaster. This one manager I would like to listen to, yeah, and it's Jose Mourinho fell out of Daniel Levy at the training ground. That's why he was sacked. Now, Jose Mourinho has won trophies all over the world, including multiple Champions League and a treble in Italy. Right? What is Daniel Levy telling Jose Mourinho about football? How dare you come to Jose Mourinho and talk about football if you're Daniel Levy? You seem like you don't know nothing about football. What are you talking about to him and sacking him for it?
Yeah, I agree with you. That was my point. We're bringing these managers, especially the good ones, and we don't listen to them.
Right, so there's no point hiring a good manager there, is it? Because ultimately, you're not going to listen to them when they tell you that they need a certain, they need players, Maz. Yeah, the Spurs are not going to listen to them, so they're basically wasting their time coming to Tottenham Hotspurs. As a manager, you'll be looking at that and thinking, mate, why do I want to risk my career and my name going to Tottenham Hotspurs not to be listened to and basically set up? Why would I want that? It's a false story.
Here's the thing, Letfield. Here's the thing, right? One, all of Enoch's tenure hasn't all been bad, right? So there's been periods where they've done well in that period. And 2, it's been a gradual decline over the last few decades in terms of the body of evidence has been building up. So certainly in the last 6-7 years, we've come to this conclusion, right? Before that, we were gaining a reputation of being like you're suggesting. But the realities are Tottenham Hotspur is a big club. let's not get into the argument of what a big club is.
Rich.
We were a big club. We have a reputation, put it that way, right? And managers and players see us as a stepping stone towards greater things. So managers do come to Spurs. Certainly, the older managers, like let's just say Joel, Redknapp, of course they're going to come to Spurs because they remember Spurs from the old days, right, when they were playing. So there's a reputation there. Of course, someone like a George Graham's going to come to Spurs because Arsenal done him over and he wanted to come to Spurs to prove the ownership wrong, right? I know that for a fact because my dad used to do work for George Graham and he told him to his face as to the reasons why he came to Spurs, which I can't talk about because I know more things than I'm allowed to say, right? But so to answer your point, look, I want good managers at Spurs because I've seen good managers at Spurs and like Joel, like Redknapp, AVB, although statistically wise he was decent for us, Poch, and obviously Jose and Conte. So I want to see good managers because I know I don't like this ownership, and I know exactly the point in which I knew that ENIC/Levy was no good for this club because in 2010, right, and I always say this, in 2010, when we didn't sign those players for Redknapp to take the next step, I remember I was in the car with my brother and I turned around to him and I said, we're never going to do anything with these people at this club. And that is, I remember it. I always talk to my brother about it. I said, do you remember that time in the car when I said that to you? Right. So for me, having a good manager is the only way where we're going to get at least some joy out of this club. Otherwise, we'll be in a nihilist, right? We'll be in a forever doom loop. You can't just say there's no point getting good managers in. Well, we've done that, and look where we are now, right? Now, whether Frank or not is a good, we can. That debate's been done, right? I don't want to fall out with people over it. I've got my views on that. You've got your views on that, but I don't agree with you can. Whatever manager comes in will be rubbish because if you have that attitude, then why did Joel do well when he came in? Why did Redknapp do well when he came in? Why did Poch do well when he came in? They all came in at moments of crisis and they all turned it around. What I would say to counter my point is there was the right circumstances and players that enabled them to do well, right? I don't think Levy plan to find the Bale. I don't think that Evie planned to find Kane. I think they just happened for him.
Absolutely. Why did Yol do well? Because of Arneson. Why did Pop do well? Because of Mitchell. Why? I completely agree with you about 2010 because I actually think if you're writing a book of history, it's Arneson leaving the club and Levy thinking, "Oh, I know how this works now." That actually was the start, and we had two blips that made everybody think that everything was okay, and those two blips was Bale, right,
and Kane,
because getting a superstar like Bale masks so many problems, right? If you've got somebody who's going to score a goal out of nothing, then if you got somebody who's going to score a goal out of nothing for you, then you can have 3 or 4 cloggers on your pitch, on your team, and he masks it. And the other blip was Kane. And you know what? I've said this on Savage Stream, and I got pelters for it. I'm going to do the YouTube thing. Have I got pelters for it? And the zeitgeist then comes back to me. Both of those players were accidents.
Yes.
Bale,
I said this.
Kane, we now know that they nearly got rid of Kane twice. Exactly. They tried with Sherwood, and then they tried with Poch.
Right. I've had two. Sorry.
Right, Marion and Maz, Levy admitted that it's in All or Nothing Tottenham episode 1. Levy admitted that he lucked out when he got Pochettino. Levy admitted that he lucked out when he got Harry Kane. So it's not like it's a foregone conclusion. It's there for everyone to see. It's not like they went out there and actively done it. They lucked out.
No, we know. Yeah, we agree with you.
So what exactly are you? So they've been winging it for so many years. This is what I said on Salvage Stream. I said they had no plan. That's years ago. They had no plan. They were been winging it for so many years, and at some point, yeah, it's gonna burst in their face. And this is the time now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I've been saying this, Phil. You haven't said everything you've said. I've said and often, right? Rain, I had two discussions with Sean, and I brought up exactly what you just said to him, right? And his
but he didn't agree.
No, he didn't. Right? We had a lengthy argument about accountability and responsibility. We weren't talking about football, but we were just talking about corporate structures, right? Yeah. And he says he doesn't believe that accountability rolls from the top down, and I disagree, right? Right, and I also said the points you said about Bale, Kane, about the massive strokes of luck there, and he was like, no, you can't say they were lucky. You can't say, and then he started talking about, cherry picking the good things and the bad things to suit the argument and narratives and stuff like that. But to Phil's point, typically when people get things wrong, or when people when they want to execute a plan, they sort of tell you what they're going to do. Everyone does it. Like they come with a plan and they sort of tell you what they're going to do, right? Levy's told us all of these accidents that he's had, and it's all come out. It's written in history, all of this stuff. So I don't understand why Sean and this is not an attack on Sean, by the way. So before anyone gets, I just don't understand why Sean was the ENIC inside of the argument for so many years. It just didn't make sense to me, because when you start drawing the dots, linking the dots, start looking at all of the evidence in front of you, you're like, well, hold on a minute here. We all know that Tottenham's a shit show. So how can you back the regime in that way? It just doesn't make sense to me. And this is and moving on from that point, this is why when the fans clapped the Liverpool 5-1, for me, that was when I gave up on the fans. I thought they're never going to protest. They're never going to do anything, because when you get to a point where the fans are so PTSD'd, for lack of a better word, with Tottenham Hotspur, and they're clapping and singing the manager's name when you're getting pumped 5-1 at a game, what does that prove? Does that prove that the fans back the manager, or does that prove that they're backing failure, or does that prove that they're backing ENIC, or does that prove that they're like it's so confused. I just couldn't understand where the club was going and why the fans were allowing us to lose in such a manager, and then clapping the defeat at the same time. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen a fan base celebrate.
Do you mean Liverpool? Or do you mean Chelsea? Do you mean the Chelsea match?
No, I mean the Liverpool match.
Or the Liverpool match.
Okay.
When we lost 5-1, the fans were clapping and singing Angie's name. And that was after us losing. By that point, we lost like 18 games. And I was like, what the hell is going on at this football club?
Yeah, it was a 6-3 game, wasn't it, against Liverpool?
Was it a 6-3? Sorry, I got
6-3 game, and at 5-1 down, they were chanting the manager's name.
Yeah. There we go.
Moving on from managers, there's been big rumours today about. Sorry, does anyone else want to go before I move on?
Well, I was going to say something, but it might take us down a different. But this is why my biggest concern is when we hear about, if we get relegated, we're going to see changes, because the club has been shown this, right? Conte showed them. He spoke out and told them everything that was wrong with the club. They didn't make the change. They saw what happened when they had a successful manager like Yol and Redknapp, and they didn't back him. They didn't make the changes. When they had Arneson and they lost him, they didn't make the change. When they had Mitchell and they lost him, they didn't make a change. What happens when you have a superstar like Bale and you don't build around him? When they got Kane, they did the exact same mistakes. So I think Matt and Maz made a point that there's been good things they've done. They've hired a Conte. They've hired a Redknapp. The problem that I have is that every time they do something good, they do absolutely nothing to build on that. So when I hear people say, well, if they go down to relegation, it's going to give them the wake-up call they need. I don't think it will, because they've had enough wake-up calls and they've done nothing to it. And they've shown that when they get a wake-up call, like Conte, like what happened when we lost Bale, that they don't learn from it and that they don't know how to make the right choices. So kind of tying it back into that relegation part, that's where my concern comes in, because they hoping that they're going to get a wake-up call. They've shown us in the past that they don't. And the bigger concern that I have, even if they do have that wake-up call, they have shown absolutely nothing at all to show us that they can make the right choices that gets us back up, right? They can make individual right choices, but most of them are more luck than actual good decisions.
Scott, I like your point, Scott, yeah. I'm going to say this now, yeah, because I'm going to drop out in a minute because I've got to go somewhere. But, Scott, yeah, there was a report from Alistair Gold a couple of years ago, and it was that the Tottenham board, yeah, feel they're doing nothing wrong. They feel everything is built like an echo chamber in there, and basically they think everything they've done is right. There's no one to tell them they're doing something wrong. And because they have no acknowledgement or acceptance of what they've done is wrong, right? They just keep going on and carrying on and thinking that everything's okay. And that's because the club has been built like that. Anyone who showed resistance to that, anyone who stepped up and said, look, that's not how it's gone, they've been quickly eliminated and got rid of and sacked. This is why I looked at Mitchell and I said, that's where your dream job turned into a nightmare. This is why Arneson left at the first call, because Paratici left, because they don't get listened to. So it's better for them to just get out of there. Because if you're not going to be heard in your job, yeah, what are you doing there? And this was another factor that I don't think a lot of people heard when Alistair Gold said it, where the hierarchy, yeah, don't feel everything they do is right. And once you feel that way, yeah, no one's telling you anything different.
Fair play, Phil.
Yeah.
Fair
So
play.
Scott, I make you right. Okay. So I've corporate finance 30 years, right? In and about FTSE 100s. I know exactly what these accountants are going to do. When their revenues go down, they're going to do something called cost out. Yeah. It's called cost out. It's not something that non-accountants will understand. And basically, it means they're going to cut costs. That's what they're going to do. It will not drive them to make better decisions, because that's an innate ability and behavior. What they will do is they will reduce costs to match. Totally. I've got a quote because I was going in my gallery, like looking for memes yesterday, and I found one from a man called Jamie O'Hara, and he wrote something. He said, he says a lot, but he said, we've gone backwards, poor investment, poor player signings, managers not being backed, not spending enough money, board not good enough, manager losing hope. He said that in 2022.
There you go. There you go. How long have us lot been saying it? Well, not me in particular, but most of you have been on YouTube for years now. Well, not Rain, Rainy as well, yeah. But I mean, how long have we been sort of saying all that stuff that Jamie O'Hara has pointed out there? You know, and that's where it's left us now. Unfortunately, it is where we are now. Does anyone else want to mention anything about that at all? What we was talking about there? Were you all done with that before I move? Right. Okie dokie. So, first of all, when Igor Tudor gets sacked on tomorrow night or Monday morning, as we are expecting, who fills the slot? And anyone can go, even if you don't think it's relevant as such. Someone's got to take it over. Whether they can save Spurs or not is a different matter. But what are you thinking, guys?
I think it's an abomination that they've allowed the games to slowly disappear, right? Yeah. And they haven't made the change. I think this will downfan me for the rest of my days if we go down.
I'm changing my phone number. I'm changing everything. I don't want to hear anything like it. It's got to the point where actually at the start it was funny, but I think a lot of other rival fans now actually feel sorry for us. Like, I know they'll laugh at the end if we do go down, but it's not going to be as funny as it was,
Nick, can you imagine, mate, right? we get beat by Chelsea, Arsenal win the league, right?
Yeah.
West Ham stay up. That is like the trifecta of memes for the next 3 decades, right? How are any Spurs fans ever going to live that down? I mean,
we won't. And the issue, the other issue, we need it to be one way or another. It needs to be done before that last game, because you know what'll happen. We'll be sat. It'll be rather than at the top when it was like the Aguero goal, and you know the games that have gone down to the last game of the season, the Blackburn, and you know all of those games. It'll be a 93rd minute goal, you know, of like a Tarkowski like header that sends it. Do you know what I mean? It can't go till that last game, because
Nick, it'll be replayed on Sky Sports Premier, whatever, for ever and a day. That was the goal.
It'll be the reverse Aguero, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Do you think we'll get to that point? You know, like when we're hoping Man City beat us so Arsenal don't win the league. We'll be hoping that, I don't know, Everton beat us so we get relegated before Chelsea can beat us. It'll be like that. It'll be Everton for a day.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't Chelsea that sent us down. Everton sent us down, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I must admit, I did. So on THFC Till We Die, we did before the Fulham game, we did these are how many points that we think we're going to get. You know, everybody's done it. We've all done it all around. Yeah. I had us losing Fulham, Palace, Liverpool. I don't know why everybody's. I know obviously we've looked rubbish. Yeah. And obviously, you know, everybody wanted our performances to get better. But I had us losing those 3 games anyway. I've actually got us staying up, but we have to beat Forest. I've got us beating Forest.
But Rain, like I know, can you see us beating Forest? I mean, with what? With no VDV or Romero?
Well, I didn't know that at the time, did I? I mean,
Yeah.
it was
our top goal scorers, might I add.
VDV's back, isn't he, for Forest? Isn't he only
back for Forest? Oh, I don't know what the hell.
I think Romero's back as well. I think he's back off his concussion.
Oh, fair enough.
If they hadn't have moved the game from the Saturday, he wouldn't have been.
Cookie, to answer the question, from someone who goes, you know, the coach isn't that important. Tudor is clearly a bad fit. There's a French phrase for it. I can't remember. It's a sort of mal. He's a bad fit. He's a bad fit, not only for our club but for the moment. The moment it was absolutely shocking fit. Whoever interviewed him needs to have a really good look at themselves / get fired. It has to be somebody who's going to come in and do simple things, and I don't think that's Harry. I really don't. I think Harry is loving being asked the question, but I just don't think. I personally don't think it's Harry. I originally said Sherwood, bring Sherwood in, but I definitely don't. There's been lots of rumours that we're looking at De Zerbi. I think that's another massive mistake. I think he's another guy who will come in and just lay waste to this crapshoot that he's going to land in. He's going to come in
CV as well, Rain. That's the main thing. Yeah. Like if someone's going to come in and lay waste everything, at least have a CV. At least have.
He's got no CV behind him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for me, it's the nice and simple thing is Sherwood. For me, he comes in, he knows it's temporary. There's very little hoo-ha. He's not gonna. He's done plenty of interviews where it's very where we can see what he's, how he's interviewing, how he would interview with somebody who's hiring him, and he's like, it needs to be simple. They need an arm put around them, which I think is crazy, but it's true. That's who I am. Where are you? Where are you at, Cookie? Are you a Harry person?
Yeah, pretty much. I just think it needs Tottenham people in there now. Not necessarily just Harry. Get a Defoe in there. Just get a few in there, maybe. That I've got to the point where I'm almost, resigned to relegation now. To be honest with you, with the way that we've been watching them play, and listen, can he get anything out of them? I don't know.
Does it even matter though? They need to throw the one last hurrah, right? So they might as well try it because.
Yeah.
Look, I want Harry and Sherwood. It has to be Tottenham people. I was saying that from the beginning. We've got rid of all of the Tottenham people out of the club over the last 2 decades. We need to bring some of them back in to save us. And
is that by design, though, Maz?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't want to. We could. That's a whole other.
Yeah.
But what I would say is this: if we do stay up, and we bring in another manager, I'm with Range. If you bring in De Zerbi, as much as he might be a good manager or play good football or whatever his qualities are, he will be a disaster at Tottenham Hotspur, as in the mold of Tudor, because of how hard he is on the players, right? So they're going to go from Tudor to De Zerbi, or let's say Tudor, Sherwood, Redknapp, De Zerbi. Can you imagine? It's like the same problem just repeats itself. The only person that can come in, not to achieve anything, just to harmonise the club, so we can just feel a little bit normal again, is Pochettino. I'm not expecting him to win. I'm not expecting him to replicate what he did before. I'm not expecting him to get us into Champions League or Europe. I'm not even expecting us to be a good football team. What Pochettino will do, though, for a short period of time, which is what the club needs, is bring stability and unite the fan base and get the fans singing his name and backing the players for a little while. We're still going to have all the same problems we had before with this ownership. None of that's going to change. But that's the only semblance of normality we can wish for, and that's the reason why he needs to come in, and that's my thoughts on it.
Fair play.
Anyone
else?
I think the biggest thing that Sherwood, let's say, all Spurs fans are talking about it. I bet you they're not talking about it at all in the boardroom, right? Which is crazy. But if you've got people like Harry, Sherwood, Defoe, I don't know, Crouch, you get Ledley King, Sheringham, Ledders, put your boots on, come out on the training pitch, take a couple of come and help out with the sessions. Do you know what that would do? The one thing that would do at this moment in time would be to create a positive atmosphere between all of those guys around the team. And you know what? Maybe it would just exercise some of these clouds that are hanging over. Everybody's going off on VDV, right? Everybody's going off on Mickey. He clearly doesn't care because he made that mistake, made that catastrophic error and got himself sent off. I think he does care. I think he's so brain fogged that actually he's making stupid mistakes. Is what human beings do. They make stupid mistakes when they're stressed and they're brain fogged. And what we need is people like, Harry, Crouchy, Defoe, having a bit of a laugh, having a joke amongst each other, and just get rid of these clouds from these players' heads. So they go out there and they just play football.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I wish it was that simple. It
may be that simple. You know what? I'll tell you one thing we do, especially as YouTubers as well, right? When we come on these shows, we do overcomplicate things, and we don't. Sometimes when the solution is simple, we dismiss it because we think, it can't be that simple. But sometimes things are simple. The amount of times that I've been in catastrophic situations where the simplest solution works. You get teams together, you brainstorm, you plan, you put these elaborate plans together, but yet it's always the simple things that seem to work the best, right? And it doesn't mean there's no complexity to it. It just means that Rain is right. They just need, maybe they just need a feel good factor. Maybe they just need people that believe in them and are part of the fabric of Spurs to say, look, we are you. We're with you. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're with you. You know, it's like having you know, an uncle come round and console you if, you know, if a tragedy happens. You know, there's still family. You know, you still want them around you. You still want them there, or like your grandparents and stuff like that. It's the same feeling. That's what. By the way, that's why in a weird way, I'm going a little bit off a tangent here. Why they loved Ange, because they felt that he was like a father figure to them. Right? They'll have that same feeling with someone like Redknapp coming in. I hope.
Yeah, that's
Maz knows. I didn't want.
You're right. Sorry, go on, Scott.
I was going to say Maz knows because we argued about it in a WhatsApp group. I didn't want Harry and Tim Sherwood in that kind of path. Jermaine Defoe, people who haven't managed in years. Originally, when we were looking at changing managers, now after coming in with Tudor, who kind of did exactly what I was worried about, because I said when we were changing manager, we need somebody to come in and just do the very basics. And my concern with Tudor is he's coming in hot and mad, and he has his way, and he's actually, I think, made it worse personally, because he's overcomplicated things like Maz said we did. And I think his attitude is been totally wrong. I think it's fractured the team more than it was. I think he's made things actually absolutely worse. So while I didn't want Harry and Sherwood, because I said they haven't managed for so long, I don't think we needed somebody who's going to revolutionize our tactics, because I don't think you can do that at the time we were looking at changes. But now at this point, I would be more willing to have them in, because I think Tudor has done such a poor job and done almost everything wrong. Not all his fault, because I said I don't think this is a manager problem, but I think he actually came in and made it worse, where just some normality is what we need. I would personally, and I know everybody will hate me when I say it, I would rather somebody like Sean Dyche coming in, because I think we're at the point where we're so desperate. We need points. And if we can get a couple of ugly draws and he can get us there, maybe. I don't think that's, like, again, when I say we're desperate, so don't everybody.
You know what the sad thing is about that, Scott? You know what the sad thing is about that? You know what the sad thing is about getting Dyche? That I think that the fans, not us necessarily, the fans won't like him.
Oh, they would. It would be a riot. They would.
I can see it. I can see the fans be like, "Oh no, we don't want him." Yeah, but we're getting relegated. Oh no!
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want him either. But we're desperate, right? We're not choosing between.
I couldn't give a damn who comes in at the moment, if I'm honest with you.
I don't think it changes, and that's why Dyche probably isn't any better than Harry or Tim Sherwood, because it's so late in the season. These players are what they are. I don't think we're at this state really where it's like we need somebody to get something out of the players. We just need our club to be normal for 7 games and hope that by a combination of us and what I've said all along, West Ham, Leeds, Forest being poor as well. That's our hope, right?
There's a strong possibility that Sherwood and Redknapp come in, let's say, and that we still lose all our remaining games.
Yeah.
Right. I think the fans need to accept that is a strong possibility. What? You know what? I just don't even know what to say anymore.
I'll say that.
Here's the thing, and I know why Brian came on. The fact that we're not protesting, right, is just what the hell is going on? Like, we can't even protest when we're getting relegated. We're just doomed.
Fans would be more willing to protest if we brought in Dyche than we're going down. That's
yeah. This is the thing. It's just nuts.
Where I'm at with, again, and it's not. I love Harry. He's great. I think now that I'm at the point where I don't think, like you said, we could lose all our games with them. I don't think that bringing them in makes it more likely that we lose all our games. I think we're at a point where, like, yeah, you're right. They might come in and they might not do anything. But one thing, I think I'll enjoy watching us lose more than I will under Igor.
At least we'll
Tudor,
sing the manager's name.
Who's just, yeah.
At least,
and that's where we're at. That's the stage that we're at. And still, like you say, nobody wants to do anything about it.
Yeah, pretty much. That is where we're at, chaps. Listen, if you don't mind, I'm going to wrap the show up, if that's okay with everyone. Has anyone got anything more that they would like to say on any of the subjects that we've spoken about tonight? That's a no.
Just hope it's not as bad as it was when me and Iggy were sat there watching it on Tuesday night, trying to fathom and put things together. So
it will be. It will be.
I know. And
Eugene said his thing a watch along, and I was going to say something really weird. It's not really a watch along, is it? It's more like voluntary. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. No. You're right. It is. It's sadly. It's just you know what you're going to expect, and it's just going to be another. Like Stel said the other day, for first game, 1 goal in the first half. Second game, 2 goals. Third game, 3 goals. 4 goals. So tomorrow's 5 goals in the first half, at least.
Yeah, Nick. You know what the travesty will be is when we lose, we're all going to come online. Right, yeah. I've got a show anyway at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, whenever we're going to do it, and we're all going to moan again. It's just going to repeat. We're just going to moan again. About the same things we moaned today.
And then we're going to argue about the starting lineup. Then we're going to argue about why that player should have played, and then why he shouldn't have played, and everything else. And then we'll be here again next week.
There is a place. Where we get a point tomorrow.
Ooh, I hope so.
Look at Scott. But because
everybody is in Amsterdam. Everybody, Danny Kiriakou. I think that's the only place you're getting a point.
Everybody had expectations, and it would be just like us to have all those expectations and get let down. And then everybody's like 5-1, 6-0.
You said you don't do any toxic positivity, Rain. Don't start doing this toxic positivity stuff.
Rain's a changed man.
Any other game, Rain?
You see, the club have broken him. This is the point that Rain's been broken.
Listen, let's get to Barry. Barry, where can everyone find you, mate? If you're about, are you just jumping on channels? Are you doing anything at the moment?
Well, me and Iggy, I'll blame Iggy for this. Iggy was like, "Should we do the watch along and let's do both of them?" Yeah, I'll be doing a watch along with Iggy on We Are Tottenham TV on Wednesday. So, yeah, I'll try and look a little bit less interested than I did last week, and that was hard to look less interested. So yeah, that's probably where you'll find. Probably like Maz said, coming on and probably moaning about the result tomorrow on somewhere here, there, or everywhere.
We can only wait and see. Baz, Rain, give us some details. Sorry, I can't pin anything up. It's not, Sheriff's not here. He does all that, but. Go on, Rain. Tell us about your channel, what you got coming up, and all that sort of stuff.
No, I'm a bit of a hobo. I'm quite often on with Sabah, on with Sean. I do a couple of shows a week with Dermot over on THFC Till We Die. I'm a bit of a. I sort of flit all over the place.
Fair play, mate. Fair play, mate. Maz, what you got coming? Tomorrow night, yeah?
Spurs Corner. We'll probably go live either 7 o'clock or 7:30 or 8 o'clock, whenever the boys are ready to do it. We'll schedule it in.
There you go. That's that one right there.
Yep. Cheers.
That's that one there. Get over to Maz and subscribe and help him along with the channel over there.
I don't know whether Iggy's going to be able to make it after the PTSD he's going to get from watching the game with Nick.
Well, it's not only that. It's not only that. I said this the other day. My wife supports Liverpool and his son supports Liverpool. So we've had it either way.
Oh dear. Bit like in here when they're all Man United and I'm the only Spurs one, Bass. But it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Listen, get over to anyone who's got a channel. Get over and sub to them. Been a bit tight on the likes tonight, guys. I haven't asked, but if you haven't hit the like button, hit it on the way out. I'll be back in the morning with the breakfast brunch. Hopefully, the Sheriff will join me. And also, Nige is on before us on Pure Coys, 8:30. He's got his breakfast show. We're on at 9:30 with the breakfast brunch. And then in the afternoon, we've got the watch along and after match show. So get over and watch it if you feel like it. If not, watch whoever pleases you. That's all I can say. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. Everyone else that's not here now, Phil, there was other people as well. Listen, big up to all of you for coming on. Really appreciate it. And see you in the morning. Thanks, guys, and all take care. Cheers.
Show.